Que paso, San Antonio? Welcome to church, baby. This is the Fantasy Gods. I'm your man, Brandon Big Papi Medina. You are tuned in to the premier time for fantasy football. You are tuned in to the best podcast for fantasy football. We are winning money. We are wasting money. We are upsetting wives, and we are watching fantasy football, baby. That's what we're about. Welcome to the Degenerate Network. This is the Alamo City Podcast Network, and this is the Fantasy Gods. We got a brand new big old screen out here. My boy Joe Garcia is in the building. Joe Garcia, how are we doing, sir?
Doing good today, man. I'm ready to go ahead and get back on track and get back to the winning ways, bro.
Yes. Listen, we have our can't miss parlays of the week coming up later on in the show, and we need to get this going, right? Last week we took too many chances. We got cocky.
We got cute with it.
We got cute with it. I had won 2 weeks in a row. You had some bankroll in the account. I said, you know what? Let's go with the dogs, the underdogs, and they all deserve to be underdogs because they sucked, and so they screwed us up. But it's all good, brother. We're back. We're here, and it's all about not what have you done lately. It's what's next for me, right? What's next for this show? What's next for us to get back into our winning ways? And we got exactly what you need. Before we do that, though, let's recognize our sponsors real quick. We have Mad Pecker Brewing Company. Of course, if you were with us in the beginning, since not day one, Mad Pecker Brewing Company has been here. They've been incredible as far as a sponsor. They're the best place to go watch a game. They have great food, great drinks. Joe and I talk about all the IPAs, Ls, and blondes that they have. It is super, super dope over there. You have kind of the hip-hop vibe there, the MF Doom vibe. You go watch UTSA, Cowboys, Texans, and, of course, we got the Rangers and Astros today. Your boy's rocking his Rangers gear. Big playoff time over there. But go check out a game over there at our place, Mad Pecker Brewing Company. And then we have, of course, the best in the business, Mudslingers Drive-Thru Coffee Shop. You got the mini donuts. You got the alien. Wemby is playing out of his mind right now in preseason. Go celebrate with an alien. Go celebrate with a great coffee at Mudslingers Drive-Thru Coffee Shop. Why are you going to Starbucks? Why are you going to these other big-time coffee places that don't care about you as a person? They don't help you in the community. They don't know you. Mudslingers, they're the best. They know you. They're in the community. They're local, and they want your support, and you need to go support them because they are the greatest people, the nicest people, and I'm telling you now, your lips are going to touch those mini donuts and that coffee, and the game's going to be changed forever. So with that, we want to give a shout to Mudslingers Drive-Thru Coffee Shop, and finally, our boy, Jeff Garcia, and the best podcast for Spurs. It's Spurs season, baby. I'm a season ticket member. Joe just went to a Spurs game. I'm going tomorrow and Wednesday. Listen, Locked On Spurs, you got to go check it out. The best podcast for all your Spurs information. I'm on there quite a bit. Joe's on there quite a bit, but our boy Jeff Garcia runs the whole shindig, and he is incredible. So with that, thank you to all of our incredible sponsors. Joe, I think it's about time to get into some fantasy football conversations, baby. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so, man. So what do you want to start it off with?
Listen, let's start with a little bit about blessed is he who starts.
Blessed is he who starts.
This segment right here is all about who do you need to be starting in your fantasy football lineups. This is a must right here. This is a massive, massive opportunity this week. Please go ahead and comment any questions that you have about certain players, certain formats, certain games, all that good stuff. But let me tell you right now, as it stands, there are about 5 to 6 really, really solid must starts this week that I like a lot. First up, you got the Giants and the Buffalo Bills. I like James Cook in this game, the running back. It's a bounce back week. Didn't have a great week, but check this out. Double-digit fantasy points in every game except week 5, right? 100 total yards or a touchdown in 3 out of the last 5 games. And the big one, the New York Giants have allowed 23.8 fantasy football points to running backs. That's the 4th highest total in the NFL. I like him to go out, make some big plays. Jacoby Myers from the Las Vegas Raiders. Jacoby Myers has come out of nowhere and had himself a great season. You're going against New England. Listen, 15.5 fantasy points and 10 plus targets in every game with Jimmy G over there in Las Vegas. Looks solid. Wide receiver 14 for fantasy football points per game. And then New England ranks 20th in receptions allowed to wide receivers. So I do like that. That's a huge, huge opportunity. And then the other one I love TJ Hawkinson and Cole Kmet. Listen, this is a Vikings-Chicago game. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be dirty. It's going to be chilly. And I think the tight ends are going to have great work for this entire game. I think the tight ends have massive massive value when it comes to this game because they have an opportunity to exploit really bad defenses in the middle. I think Cole Kmet is a great play. TJ Hawkinson, a great play. And then the other one that I love for this Minnesota Vikings game, Jordan Addison, man. Jordan Addison, 6 receptions, 64 yards, and a touchdown in week 5. No Justin Jefferson this week. He's going to be the wide receiver number 1. He had double-digit fantasy points in every game but one this season. Chicago has allowed the 3rd most touchdowns to wide receivers. This is going to be an absolute barn burner. And then the final one that I have for you guys, somebody who's kind of gone missing since the beginning of the season. I think what happened is you got some injuries, you got some upset fans, and we kind of forgot about the great play, including myself, right? Including myself. We forgot about how good Garrett Wilson is. Garrett Wilson for the New York Jets, 30 targets over his last 3 games. The Eagles corner, elite corner, Darius Slay, he's going to be ruled out with a knee injury. Philadelphia, although they are the most stacked defense in the NFL, they have only allowed, check this out, the 3rd most fantasy points per game to wide receivers. You're able to get some points. Do not be scared to play Garrett Wilson. That's what I got for Blessed is he who starts. What do you think about it, Joe Garcia? What do you think about those starts, brother?
Man, the only thing is, dude, I didn't hear no Puka.
Oh, dude, Puka Nacua, he's always in that lineup, baby. Listen, we love our boy Puka Nacua, but I will say Cooper Kupp is back, and he is back for real.
Man.
He's not. This is not a Cooper Kupp of late where we're like, oh man, you know, maybe he's that injury still lingering. He looked right back into it. He looked right back like himself. Puka Nacua, obviously, you downgrade him from wide receiver 1 to maybe wide receiver 2. But I think Puka Nacua still start, and if you have Puka Nacua, probably the biggest pickup of the entire season. I mean, you didn't draft him, so probably the most incredible pickup you could have had this season. And I mean, man, it has been, if you have him, most likely you're doing very well in fantasy football. So I'm very excited for it, man. It's going to be a fun week. We have a lot of matchups that are interesting. We mentioned Chicago, Minnesota. What did you tell me off air before we went on there? You said this might be the time to figure this shit out.
Oh man, it might be. It just might be the time to figure this stuff out, dude. I was telling you too. I said, toilet bowl, man. To me, it looks like you got Commanders and Falcons, bro. I'm just like, the other one though, man. That you might get redemption on to this week,
right?
I mean, the Vikings are going to be playing the Bears, bro. I mean, come on.
I mean, you can't lose to the Bears.
You can't, dude.
You can't lose. If you lose to the Bears, I'm gonna be very upset. You can't. If we lose to the Bears, I'm going to be unreachable. You're not going to be able to reach out to me. My phone's going to be off.
You know I'll reach out to you, though.
I know. Don't do it to me. Don't do it to me. But those are going to be kind of our favorite starts of the week. I think that's those starts. My favorite play as far as all of those starts go would be Jordan Addison. I think he has the biggest upside. We've seen Justin Jefferson have these monster games, 100-plus yard receiving and a touchdown almost every time. The other one I like is Garrett Wilson. I do think both of those have huge opportunities to just go out and make something for themselves. My boy Michael Tani said, my boy Big Papi Medina, love you. Great show. Love you, brother. Appreciate you tuning in, man. So we talked about who you should start. Let's talk about who you should bench.
Oh,
it's a big one. Let's talk about it.
Thou shalt bench.
We have a few, man. We have a few. There's not a ton that we hate this week, I'll be honest. But there's a few that I would say stay away from, right? Go find somewhere else to go with them. One of those is going to be Nico Collins. We've loved Nico. We've hit money on Nico. Nico Collins, less than 7 fantasy points in 2 of his last 3 games. He's been inconsistent. It seems like every time he blows up, he gives you a lower score than else out. The other one that I have, and it's unfortunate, your running backs are depleted. I know it. Fantasy football running backs are dead. It is hard to find them anywhere. So this is going to be a tough one. Obviously, if you have him, you probably must start him. I understand. But look to pivot. Look to get out of it this week. And specifically for daily fantasy football, get out of this situation. Brian Robinson Jr. for the Washington Commanders. Brian Robinson has scored less than 9 fantasy points in 2 of his last 3 games. Yet to rush for 100 yards in any of the games this year. And check this out. I had no idea. Atlanta surprised me. The Atlanta Falcons are allowing the fewest fantasy points to running backs this season. I don't know how. I don't know where. They don't. They don't play like it sometimes, but statistically, they are allowing the fewest fantasy points to running backs this season. You need to look to pivot from that. The other one that I'm more nervous about, I'm nervous about any of the Vikings running backs. I don't know if it's Cam Akers or Alexander Madison. I have no idea if this is the full Cam Akers time. I don't know if it's the full Alexander Madison time. I definitely would be a little bit nervous with that one as well. And then the other ones that I do think are also some to kind of look at and monitor. Obviously, I don't like any really wide receivers for the Commanders aside from Terry McLaurin. I think Curtis Samuel could be a very big get. I think he could be a huge opportunity maybe when you look at the floor to ceiling as far as what is he going to give you at his absolute least? What can he give you at his absolute best? He'd be a great daily fantasy play, which we'll talk a little bit more about a little bit later. But I don't like a lot of those guys. Those are the kind of the guys that I'm looking at as far as teams that I think are going to be struggling, teams that I think that are not going to be up to par. The other one, Drake London has a great opportunity to have a great game against Washington. Washington allows a lot of yards. I just don't know if he gets there, man. I don't have faith in him. And then finally, here's a big one. Obviously, you're starting this guy. Nobody's saying don't start him, but I wanted to just mention this one to temper expectations. I have a absolute superstar in my lineup here, or in what I'm looking at to possibly bench. Are you ready for this one, bro? I'm gonna piss off some people.
Yeah,
we have a superstar here. I don't know that Deebo Samuel has a big game this week. So you got the 49ers. They absolutely tore apart the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
But Deebo Samuel going against Cleveland over his last 3 games, 12.1 fantasy points and 3 targets over his last 2 games. So not doing too great. I think what you're banking on with Deebo is a touchdown, very touchdown dependent, right? Cleveland, what I just say you're banking on, Joe? What do you need for him to have a good game? I said you need a touchdown.
Yeah.
Cleveland has given up 1 touchdown and the fewest fantasy points to wide receivers. This is not the game to get excited about. Obviously, if you have Deebo, you start Deebo. He's a game changer. All I'm saying is, whatever his projection is on fantasy football for ESPN or whatever different non-PPR, PPR, half PPR, whatever his projection is, look maybe about 3 points lower or right at that projection. Do not expect him to surpass any projections this week because it is a tough matchup and a tough game. So that's my kind of benches right there. Obviously, are you surprised? We have Deebo. We mentioned Terry McLaurin and Drake London might be tough starts too, even though they have good matchups. Yeah. Still don't know about them. And then the other two we mentioned, Brian Robinson and Nico Collins. We won a lot of money using both of those guys.
Yeah.
And I've completely flipped the script and said, hey, you know what? Don't know about these two guys. Don't know about these two. So what do you think about those bench opportunities?
Oh man, it's like you said, dude. It's like you can either go big and bet on them and see if they go ahead and produce.
Right.
Or, like you said, play the
safe. Matchups. Play the matchups.
Yeah, exactly. Play it safe, play the matchups, man. Because I think sometimes we get that, let's go with our heart. Let's go with our gut.
He hasn't missed this. He hasn't missed this one for me. He hasn't. And that's what happens.
But the numbers don't lie. Like the stats don't lie, dude. And exactly as you just said right now, they don't lie, dude. So you got to go ahead and play it safe. If you want to stay in contention in your fantasy league, you got to play it smart. And
the reason we named this episode the Make or Break Week, listen, if you're 1-4, right? If you're 2-3, 0-5, I hope you're not 0-5. At that point, you just kick rocks. You know what I mean? Like, go do something else.
You're going to be like that one brother they had. Did you see that video where the guy lost his fantasy football league?
Yeah.
And they had him out there in the middle of the freaking river as his office for the whole week?
Ridiculous. All I'm saying is, listen, you don't want to be struggling. It's a late time to struggle. It's a tough time to struggle right now. And I understand fantasy football has ups and downs. I am doing very well in a lot of my leagues. But listen, even fantasy gods struggle, right? I've been hit with the injury bug and losing players for, weeks on end or the season. Right now, in one of my leagues that I've been playing for a long time, me and my cousins, right now, your boy's sitting at a 1-4 opportunity, right? And listen, it's not because, hey, oh my God, how are you a fantasy guy, but you're losing games? Everybody's going to lose games. Everybody has bad weeks. You're forced to play matchups. You're forced to play players who maybe are not as good as they once were. Now, I have a great roster. What it is I am getting scored on a ridiculous amount of points all the time. So everybody I'm facing is going off. But right now, I think we have an opportunity to come back, to look at things, and to be granted an opportunity to not only make trades, right? If you're 1-4, 2-3, look to make trades. If you're 4-1, if you are 3-2, you need to be poaching the guys who are sucking in that league and saying, hey, you need help. I need help. This is a perfect time to get trades going, to get things moving, to get opportunities happening. I like it, man. I do think it's going to be a huge game this week for your fantasy football lineups. This could be a playoff opportunity on the line right now. So I do think that this is going to be a week to start making changes, start taking chances, start making opportunities happen. Now, with that, let's recognize our sponsors one more time, Joe. We got to keep giving love to these guys. They're incredible. Let's talk about our boys at Mad Pecker Brewing Company. Listen, you got to go get all of the incredible food. We tried the pizzas. I tried a lemon pepper buffalo sandwich. It was ridiculous, off the chain. Sweet potato fries, off the chain. The vibes are immaculate. The food is great. And the drinks, that's why you go. You're not going to get your Bud Lights, your Miller Lights, your Coors Lights, right? You're getting top-notch IPAs, L's, and blondes. You're going to be getting an opportunity to have a snow cone that will also mess you up for the entire day with the one that we tried in Tiger's Blood. An incredible Tiger's Blood drink. But I mean, you're going to have the opportunity to try so many great drinks, meet great people, and have some great times with friends and family. So Mad Pecker Brewing Company, the proud title sponsor of the Fantasy Gods. We also have Mudslingers Drive-Through Coffee Shop. Why are you going anywhere else? We say this every time. They support UTSA. They support local. They got the best mini donuts in the city. They have the best coffee in the city. And they have the best people running things over there at Mudslingers. Go give them a follow at Mudslingers Texas on Twitter. They are super, super duper incredible here in San Antonio. Affordable, local, good people, a good opportunity to support other community events like UTSA and other things like that. You got the Alien. What's the Alien, Brandon? It's a Wembanyama-based drink, kiwi, green apple, Red Bull. It's beautiful. It is perfect for you to get refreshed. You got the Sub-Zero that supports 100% of UTSA student athletes with a 2-0 inspired drink. Go check them out. They're there, 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive, open 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Go check out Mudslingers Drive-Thru Coffee Shop. And then finally, the Locked On Spurs podcast. It is a place. It is the home of Spurs basketball for everybody listening. It is the home of Jeff Garcia from Ken's 5. Our boy Jeff is back in the city. He's back in the 210, and he is looking to come out with a vengeance because the Locked On Spurs podcast has been top-notch, top-level, and the best opportunity for you to go check out Spurs-related content. So thank you to our sponsors. Thank you. Let's continue the show. Let's have a good time. We talked about who you should bench. We talked about who you should start. Can we say a little prayer, Joe?
It's time for the Fantasy Gods to say a little prayer.
We got to say a little prayer here. Here's what this is my favorite single opportunity of the show, because these guys could win you money, they could win you games, or they could absolutely be basura. We have no idea. We are saying a prayer. The whole point of it is taking chances on players. So what we talked about just right now, if you're 1-4, you're 2-3, you're looking to get in the win column, you're looking to take those chances. Here's a few guys I think you can take a chance on, right? So here's one, nasty one. Tyler Algier over at the Atlanta Falcons. Listen, Bijan Robinson is incredible. He's getting the ball. He's rushing. This last game against Houston for the Atlanta Falcons, Tyler Algier had 17 carries. Now, that only turned into 40 yards, but 17 carries is top-notch production, top-notch opportunity. He hadn't even touched double-digit carries since week 1 or 2. Tyler Algier getting used again. I do like Tyler Algier. The other one that I like, say a little prayer for, and you don't even really got to say a little prayer. The dude is knocking the lights out, but Adam Thielen is wide receiver 10. Old man Adam Thielen is just breaking down barriers with his walking cane and his dentures, and he's murdering fantasy football lineups. The past 4 games, he is at points a game, just going absolutely nuclear. But if you're talking about somebody that you got to throw in, that you're not sure of, that you're a little nervous to play, I think we could see a big game for possibly somebody like an Elijah Moore, somebody like a, a Josh Downs over there, Michael Gallup, DJ Chark. All these guys could possibly have big games. One that I do like right now is Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd has not put up incredible numbers. He still has, played very solid. He's giving you 9 to 8 points a game, but you're going against Seattle, the number 32 defense for wide receivers. They're giving up money. They're giving up yards. Tyler Boyd, wide receiver 3, but you got T. Higgins coming off that injury. You don't know what you might get. I do like Tyler Boyd. The other one that I like, if we're going to say a little prayer, or we're going to say, hey, who can get us an opportunity? Deontay Foreman for the Chicago Bears could have an opportunity there, could have a great opportunity to get at least in the end zone, which is what you need. And then if you're looking at quarterbacks, a quarterback that I love, say a little prayer for our boy Matthew Stafford going against the Arizona Cardinals. I like that one a lot. I think the Cardinals are a weak defense, allowing the 3rd most fantasy football points to the quarterback position. Give me those players to say a little prayer for. What do you think? What do you think, Joe? Are these prayers going to be answered? Who knows?
Who knows, man? All you can do is, like you said, just say a little prayer.
Close your eyes.
Hope for the best.
Hope for the best. That's right. You close your eyes. You take a shot in the dark. You might hit something. That's how we do things here. So let's talk a little bit, Joe. Let's get into our betting expertise. If you could please pull up some of the lines. Let's see what the lines look like for today, and let's do our little pick 'em together. So Baltimore Ravens and the Tennessee Titans are currently going at it right now. If you didn't know, they played in London. It has not been the most exciting of games, but it has been a close one. 18-13 as it stands right now. We're in the 3rd quarter. The Baltimore Ravens are looking very, very solid. Zay Flowers gets his first career touchdown, and Derrick Henry, once again, finally getting 96 yards and a touchdown, finally showing up for you. If you had him, you were nervous. I think he had like 13 yards going into half or something like that. It was pretty bad. But as it stands, that game's going on right now in London. Let's talk about the games we have coming up at noon. So right now, 49ers and the Browns, brother. 49ers and the Browns. What do you think about this game? How do you think it goes?
Man, the 49ers, they look great against the Cowboys.
Yep.
I think it's going to be a landslide victory.
No Deshaun Watson. The Cleveland playing backups. Yeah, I think this is going to be a monster game. Now, -9.5. Is that line too big? Do they win by 10 or more?
Oh, man, I don't know. I don't know if either team's going to win by 10 or more. I think it's going to be another very, very competitive game. Both of their defenses are pretty good.
Yeah, that's
so I'm just like, they're very physical.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be a really
great matchup. It's one in the trenches. Defensive, offensive line.
It's going to be a great matchup, man. I just think that, both defenses are going to shell out, and I think it's going to be a very low scoring game. I have the 49ers, however, still beating the Browns.
Yeah.
I think they're going to win it by at least a touchdown or less.
Okay. Gotcha. And then I agree with that one. Saints, Texans squad, who's really, really impressed many people, 2-3. And I think they've played better than their record actually is. Looking at the Saints and Texans, let's talk about this one. -2.5. Saints with the majority of the money going their way, -2.5. Do you think the Saints win by 3 or more, or do you think the Texans possibly could do some upsets?
No, I don't see the Texans upsetting the Saints, unfortunately, because I think because of their quarterback, there's still a little bit of inexperience there with the Texans. I think the Saints are going to actually be able to handedly beat the Texans. It's going to be more than 2.5 points. I have them winning this game at least by 10.
Wow. Okay. Big things there. I do think this game is going to be actually closer than that, but I do see the Saints winning out. I like that one, though. Let's go back on this one. I was looking at my phone, but let's go back on your screen. We can go. Let's talk about, keep going up a little bit. What's the next game after the Browns? So the Panthers and the Dolphins. Listen, this might be a massive game for Tua, just throwing the ball, slinging. Chuba Hubbard is going to be starting for the Panthers because Miles Sanders is out. The Panthers have looked not very good. Adam Thielen has looked incredible, but the Dolphins, you got Jalen Waddle, you got Mostert, you got Tyreek, you got Tua. It just seems like it's too much for a lot of other teams. Is this a landslide, Joe? Is this going to be just an absolute murderer's row right here for the Miami Dolphins? Are they going to win it? It's 14.5 is the line. They have the biggest line of the day, and it's not close. Actually, the Buffalo Bills have -15, but that's tomorrow Monday Night Football, which is crazy. Or today, it's Sunday Night Football, sorry. Buffalo Bills -15, so this is the second largest line. The Miami Dolphins, 14.5 over the Carolina Panthers.
Man, that one is is one that I'd like to say, yes, it's going to go ahead and hit.
That's
you know,
dirty.
but it's kind of dirty, man. I think the Panthers are going to say otherwise.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's going to be a little bit closer. I don't know by 14, but maybe I'd give it by 10.
So you're not taking that 14.5. That's a lot.
That's a lot
line.
for me, dude. I think the Panthers are going to kind of shell out a little bit, but I believe that Tua's going to have a great game, and the Dolphins are ultimately going to go ahead and put it away. But 14 is kind of a big spread there, man.
That's a ridiculous spread, man. I agree. I think that's going to be a tough one for anybody to look at and take. However, we've seen them do it before, and you put 70 on the Broncos. The Panthers are not very good. So with that, that's a tough one to look at, but I do think Miami wins that one outright. I just don't think there's enough juice or money in that one. Seattle and Cincinnati, Joe. Are any of these teams making it into your can't miss parlay?
Seattle and Cincinnati, no. But the other game that did make it into my parlay is going to be the Vikings and Bears matchup.
Okay, before we get there, let's talk about Seattle, Cincinnati. Damn, now you got me nervous because when you talk about the Vikings, you're always disrespecting them. So
I didn't disrespect them. I was just saying, dude, it's another season where you're losing games by 3 or 4 points,
close.
Bro.
And last year we were winning games by 3 or 4
points. That's a heartbreaker, dude. Yeah. It's like they tear your heart out, like a Mortal Kombat fatality, bro.
All they do, bro, is stress me out. I mean, I'm sure my doctor is probably wishing I wasn't a Vikings.
You got high blood pressure watching these games,
bro. Easily. Seattle and Cincinnati. Is Cincinnati back? They played well last week. They looked solid. Joe Burrow actually didn't look hindered much. But talk to me about Seattle and Cincinnati. We love our boy Geno Smith, but Cincinnati beat the hell out of Arizona. And I mean, they won 34-20. Joe Burrow, who all of us have been nervous about, finally comes through 317 passing yards and 3 touchdowns last week. Joe Mixon even had 25 rushing attempts, which is ridiculous. Only had 81 yards, but Jamar Chase, 15 receiving game, 192 yards, and all 3 touchdowns to Jamar Chase. What do we think about the Bengals against the Seahawks?
Pump the brakes on the Bengals, dude. They played against the Cardinals, man. Come on.
Who the Cardinals beat?
It don't matter, dude. I'm just saying. Hey, man, no, I'm saying it's the Cardinals, bro. Look at what happened with the Cowboys. The Cowboys are the Cowboys, bro. I already told you that was a trap game. Even before the game even started, I said, don't believe it, dude. It's a trap game. And sure enough, the Cowboys se lo cagaron, dude. I knew that was going to happen, but you're looking at the Bengals and you're looking at the Seahawks. Hey, Joe Burrow's back. I don't think he's going to be back, dude. When he goes up against the Seahawks, I think the Seahawks are going to deliver, man, and they're going to go ahead and humble Joey Burrow, dude. So I have the Seahawks over the Bengals.
Tell you what, the Seahawks are 3-1, and one of their wins was against Detroit, who has obviously beaten the Kansas City Chiefs. They've only lost to the Rams. And of course, the one time they lost to the Rams was the one time that they were in my can't miss parlay of the week.
Of course.
But so the one loss on their season was against me. But the Bengals and Seahawks, Bengals 2-3, Seattle 3-1. I think the Bengals, this is a must-win game for the Bengals. I think they come out firing. But I do think Seattle can keep up with the big plays. You got Tyler Lockett, you got DK, you got Kenneth Walker. It's one of those things. Obviously, Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf are not Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but it's one of those things where it's anything you can do, I can do too. Let's keep it going. I think the over-under is set at 45.5. It's a lot of points. I think we could see that over and under explode, possibly. But that just means better fantasy football points for everybody too. So we'll see. The Colts and Jaguars. I think this is one of the most interesting games before we get into my Vikings Bears, because I'm trying to hold off on your disrespect. The Colts and Jaguars. What do you think about this one, man? It's going to be interesting.
This is an interesting matchup.
You got no Anthony Richardson. So Gardner Minshew most likely coming in for the Colts. But Jacksonville, notoriously, we saw it against Houston, shits the bed against teams that they're supposed to just kill.
Exactly.
They're -4 right now.
They're -4, and I think I'd like to have that switched, man. I'll take the Colts +4. -4, should I say?
Oh yeah, the +4. I mean, they can still lose, just not by more than 4. So I think I'm with you.
I'm gonna take that. I think I'll take that,
especially because the Colts defense has been solid. The only thing is Jonathan Taylor going to help at all? Are we just going Michael Pittman? Like, I could see the Jacksonville Jaguars killing the Colts. I just don't believe in the Jacksonville Jaguars yet. Now, I'm not betting on this game. I'm just saying I don't think this is a great game to look at either. Before we continue to our Minnesota Vikings and Bears, when we have a question, Chris Gonzalez saying, do I start Brock Purdy or do I start Josh Allen? This is one of those games. This is one of those opportunities here. One of those moments in time where you look at the season, you look at things, and you say, Brock Purdy has been murdering in fantasy football. He's going to Cleveland. Do not fall into the excitement of Brock Purdy. You drafted Josh Allen. Josh Allen is the number one quarterback in fantasy football. He's going against the Giants, who absolutely got torched by the Dallas Cowboys, much less the Buffalo Bills. Start Josh Allen. Do not worry about things. Do not get excited about Brock Purdy to the point where you're going to restart him over the best quarterback in fantasy football right now. Please, Josh Allen over Brock Purdy. We just said Cleveland's defense has been stingy against wide receivers. Wide receivers have to score for Brock Purdy to get points. Josh Allen's going to be able to knock it out of the park.
Yeah, man. They're probably getting excited over Purdy because he looked great last week against
he looks great.
Dak, dude. But anybody looks good against Dak, bro.
He looks great almost every week. Brock Purdy is the real deal.
Yeah. No, he is, man. The thing with Purdy is that he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. That's what you want out of your QB.
That's what you want, bro. Minnesota, Chicago, we're here. Your boy wore Rangers. This is the thing. This is the first week. Last time I didn't wear Rangers gear, we won. When I was on the show last time, we won. Here I am rocking Texas Rangers gear, talking Minnesota Vikings. This is the time. I didn't wear Vikings gear for two purposes. I want to support my Rangers, and I want my Vikings to win. Clearly, they don't want me as a fan.
Superstitious. That's
they don't want me to support them. They don't want me to be wearing.
Man, every time you've come into the studio wearing Vikings gear, say, look, I don't.
They lost. They get killed, right? So we're trying something different. Vikings against the Chicago Bears. This game is in Chicago. It's going to be chilly in Chicago as it stands right now. Wind 60 miles an hour. It's partly cloudy, about 55 degrees. It's going to be a nice game in Chicago. But you're out in the elements, and we know the Vikings have kickers that can never play in the elements. What do we think about this game, man? Minnesota -3 against Chicago.
I have this game in my parlay.
I don't want to even fucking hear you. I don't want to hear what you're going to say right now.
I'm betting on the Vikings to beat the Bears.
Okay.
You know, I don't believe in the Bears. I think the Vikings are going to win by more than just 3 points.
The Bears scored 40 on the Commanders. They won 40-20. The Vikings competed with the Chiefs legitimately.
No, they did.
They lost 27-20. You think the Vikings beat the Bears?
I think the Vikings beat the Bears. I think the Vikings are going to beat the Bears by at least 2 touchdowns.
Yes. Give me the Vikings. Give me the Vikings for sure. I agree. I love it, Joe. You're boosting my ego here today.
It's the Bears, bro. I mean, if you can't beat the Bears,
don't start.
Just tank the rest of the way, bro.
That's
just tank. Just
get
a pick. Look at the picks.
Chris Gonzalez said I have CMC and Kittle on the Allen team. So that's why he's looking at starting Purdy. I think if you start 3 San Francisco 49ers, that just doesn't sound like the best opportunity to score fantasy points, only because you need all 3 of them to be great. So basically, you're banking on CMC to have a good game solo and catching the ball, and you're banking on Kittle to catch a touchdown from Purdy. A lot of things have to go right. I'd rather just trust Josh Allen against the Giants, truly. But going back, let's get to the 3 o'clock games, brother. Only a few more left. What do we got here? We got the Patriots and the Raiders. I will say -3 for the Raiders. I like. So I might actually look to change up my can't miss parlay of the week, because this game's in my can't miss parlay of the week, but I don't have the line. Let me see how much things change.
Man, what the Patriots have not been looking good at all.
They look like shit.
They look horrible, man. I like the Raiders, bro.
Do you like the -3, or do you like just straight money line at -160?
I like the -3. I'll take the -3.
You think they win by 3 or more?
Yeah, 3 or more.
I like that. I like that as well. Listen, brother, this is gonna make it into my can't miss parlay. Oh my god, this is for sure making it into my can't miss parlay of the week. Yeah, for sure. I do think. I'm nervous, brother. I'm nervous because
you can call it.
I gotta call it. I gotta make the call. I'm gonna take the Raiders money line, not the -3, only because I think they win. Obviously, if they win, they should win by more. You know what? Fuck it. We're doing -3. I'm being stupid here. I'm on full tilt mode. Raiders -3. Give me that. I think they beat the Patriots. For the Patriots, I do think the Patriots, who normally we talk about Mac Jones in the beginning of the season, we were like, hey, this dude doesn't make mistakes, has been super mistake prone this season. I don't know what's changed, but give me the Raiders. We talk about the Eagles and Jets. Let me just say this. They are -7 here. I already have the Eagles in my can't miss parlay, right? I truly believe they beat the hell out of the Jets. I think this is not even close. The Jets are missing cornerbacks. The defense is scary. I'm not that scared of them, where I don't think DeAndre Swift has a good game. I think Justin Hurts has a great game. I think Devontae Smith and AJ Brown have big games. I'm playing every Eagle I can in this game. The Jets have been solid defensively, but they're still the Jets. Their offense is trash. They're going to be getting shut out by the defense of Philadelphia, which means that offense is going to have even
How
more
many sacks
opportunity.
you think? How many times is Zach Wilson going to get sacked in this game?
I think
bro?
3
Come
to
on.
4, 3 to 4 easily.
Easy.
Easy. I think this team just is not going to be able to hang with them. And I think Zach Wilson has actually played pretty solid, and they've played fine. I think this is going to be a lot more competitive than what Vegas is saying, but not by much. I think Vegas is right on the dot. I think they win. I have it at -6.5. I think they win by 7. Like, I think that this is when you look at lines, sometimes you're just like, dude, they know what they're doing. Like, Vegas is not built off of winners, right?
Yeah.
Vegas is built off of either being correct or, people losing. I think this is a spot on the dot line where it is going to be probably exactly 7.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are just going to dominate. I think the Eagles are going to dominate when it comes to time of possession. Unfortunately for the Jets, they're injury riddled right now, and Zach Wilson, he's just going to be running for his life, dude, on every plane.
You got Garrett Wilson, you got Breece Hall, who looks great now.
Yeah,
but I'm just not convinced that they're going to be able to run the ball that great against against Philadelphia. I'm not convinced they're going to be able to throw the ball against Philadelphia. It's going to be tough. Then we got Detroit Lions over here. I'm sorry, not on this one. We have the Arizona Cardinals and the Rams. Give me the Rams in this game. I'm not nervous about the Cardinals at all. I just said Matthew Stafford has a great opportunity. The Cardinals are giving the third most points to quarterbacks this year. The Cardinals, aside from that big Cowboys win, has really not looked great anyways. I think the Rams with Cooper Kupp are going to just smash this team.
They should.
Oh, what are you saying?
They should. I'm just saying, man. That's the thing, is that people fall. These are trap games. Games.
Does the Cardinals +7? Does it look interesting to you?
It looks interesting to me. And it really does. But the one thing that I've learned too is to kind of go with your gut. And my gut tells me this might be an upset game.
Wow. Is this making it into your can't miss parlay?
It's not making it into my parlays, man.
Okay.
Not this one.
We're not taking chances like that.
No, but I'm saying my gut tells me this one could be where you would look and say, hey, on paper, Rams should beat the Cardinals. I'm just thinking and feeling that the Cardinals are going to beat the Rams.
Fair enough. Let's talk about the Detroit Lions, Tampa Bay real quick, and then the Giants and Buffalo. I'm taking Detroit against Tampa Bay. Give me Detroit. They're solid. They look great. I think Jared Goff is going to have his way against Tampa Bay. I do think Tampa Bay, the only way they get this going is if their wide receivers start coming up. You got Mike Evans. You got Chris Godwin. We'll see. This is going to be probably the most fun game of the night, actually, or of the day. To me, I'm interested to see, because Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff both are kind of forgotten quarterbacks in the NFL, and they both have been playing very, very well, and they both have great receiving cores. They have okay running backs, but David Montgomery for Detroit has looked crazy this year, and I think the Detroit defense can match up to Tampa Bay. This is one of those everything you can do, I can do better games. They have almost on par the exact similar teams on both sides, so I'm really excited to see this game. What do you think?
I am too. I think this one comes down to whoever has the ball in their hand at the end of the game,
and again,
kicks a field goal, wins.
It's a perfect line, -3.
Yep,
I think
-3.
that's exactly what it's going to be. Giants, Buffalo, -15. Are we? Listen, this is crazy. We're getting into some dangerous territory. -15 for Buffalo. I think Buffalo dominates. Is this a game where you maybe swing on the Giants and say, fuck it, I'll take the points?
Dude, the Giants,
are they that bad that you're saying, no, you could get beat by 15 points or more?
No, you could get beat by 15 points or more. I don't trust the Giants at all. They're garbage. They're trash. They're basura.
Damn.
Go with the Bills, bro. Go with the Bills.
Chingo's a hate on this show.
No, I'm just being honest, man. They have not looked good at all.
They haven't. They have not. You're right. So with that, the final game of the stretch, of course, you knew it had to come down to this. If I had to guess, this is in Joe Garcia's can't miss parlay of the week. Los puro pinche Dallas Cowboys, Monday Night Football against the Los Angeles Chargers. Are the Cowboys trustworthy?
Oh, hell no,
Will they
bro.
get
Se lo
it
van a
done?
cagar. Se
Well-
lo van a cagar.
Will they get it done on Monday Night
No,
Football?
they're going to get embarrassed
No
once
way.
again on Monday Night
No
Football.
way.
Bro, the Cowboys are this team that you always want. Hey, they should be, the best team in the NFL. They have all the talent. And, dude, they have a quarterback named Dak Prescott. I don't believe in his ass. I keep saying that time and time again. And again, when you have the lights that shine the brightest
That's right.
on Monday Night Football, the Cowboys are going to shit the bed once again, bro.
Is this game in your can't miss parlay?
Nah,
Louis?
bro. I don't touch the Dallas Cowboys. They belong to the streets, even though I'm a
Yes,
fan.
I like that.
Same thing with the Jets. The Jets, they belong to the streets
Because
now,
they
bro.
screwed you.
They screwed me over. I'm done with them. They're
All right.
trash.
All
They're
right.
dead to me.
Alrighty, fair.
They're
fair.
dead.
It's gonna be an interesting one. Before we get into our can't miss parlay of the week and our favorite prop bets, let's recognize our sponsors one last time. Give it up for Mad Pecker Brewing Company, the best place in San Antonio to go have a bite to eat, watch a game, enjoy some drinks. You got the IPAs, the L's, the blondes. All we talk about is that incredible pizza, the chicken sandwiches. They have great offerings for appetizers. They have good vibes. If you're a hip hop fan, you're gonna love this place. Super great stuff there. You got drinks that you're not gonna find anywhere else. You're not gonna find anybody else that has the IPAs, the L's, the lagers, and the blondes that they have there at Mad Pecker Brewing Company. You're going to try stuff that's off the wall, your classic Belgian white L's. You're going to try your classic sours, your classic IPAs, and then you got some off the wall stuff like me and Joe Garcia's favorites. When you're talking about drinks, you got to go have. Tell them, Joe, what is it? Your favorite raspa?
I mean, I like the Tiger's Blood. That one's good. And I also like the Pecan Porter, dude. The Pecan Porter was on point, bro.
It's on point. It's thick, but it 2 C's. We like it like that. Come on,
yeah,
now.
bro.
That's
You
what
know
I'm
it,
talking
dude.
about. Pecan
Like
Porter.
BB Rexa, bro.
Come on, baby. The Pecan Porter, aka the BB Rex. So we gotta go try that out at the Matt Becker Brewing Company.
They
And
need
then
to
you
have a
got-
drink named BB Rexa, bro.
And then you got Mudslingers Drive-Through Coffee Shop. There isn't a day that goes by that you can truly say you had a great day if you don't have Mudslingers Drive-Through Coffee Shop. Go try the Sub-Zero coffee over there. It supports Frank Harris, supports UTSA. Go try the Alien, incredible drink over there. The Alien is an ode to our boy Victor Wembanyama. Kiwi, green apple, and Red Bull. Of course, you got the mini donuts. You got the treats. You got the opportunities there at Mudslingers to have yourself a great day. Go check them out. They are going to be open 6 a.m., 6 p.m. Go check them out there in Thousand Oaks, 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive. Go get yourself some coffee. Go to Mudslingers. Stop going to these other big box places. They're not going to love you like they love you, okay? So check that out. And then you got the Black Hole Sun Mocha, tangerine and dark chocolate right there. Everybody's been asking for it. We want to celebrate that. That was for the solar eclipse yesterday. I'm sure they still got it today. And if you want to support our next sponsor, Mr. Locked on Spurs, Jeff Garcia even has a drink at Mudslingers with the Money Bags Matcha. Go check that out. But Jeff Garcia, we want to shout out for our sponsors for the Fantasy Gods. He is doing Locked on Spurs. Me and Joe have been guests plenty of times. Jeff Garcia knows everything and anything about the San Antonio Spurs. He's your number one stop shop for all things San Antonio Spurs content. So
hey, one thing we forgot to mention, dude, over there at the Mudslingers is you got to try the mini donuts, dude. Don't get you in trouble, bro.
I've been mentioning it left and right, bro. That's how we get into spots where you and I have to go see doctors, is because the Mudslingers mini donuts. Listen, it's a drug in itself. We don't do heroin. We do Mudslingers mini donuts.
It's that sugar, bro. You know, sugar and Mexicanos don't mix, bro.
They don't mix. They don't mix. Well, they do. It seems like a lot more than that. But
You want diabetes, bro.
yeah, exactly. So here's a few prop bets before we get into our can't miss parlays of the week. Prop bets. You got to go check them out. Before we do that, if you're on DraftKings, FanDuel, Fantasy, Underdog Fantasy, anything like that, and you're doing a lineup, specifically a lineup that is a daily fantasy lineup, let me give you mine. I think this one absolutely hits. No problem. I got Matthew Stafford as my quarterback at 6,100. Alvin Kamara against Houston at 6,800. DeAndre Swift, Philadelphia against the Jets at 6,100. And here is where I think we absolutely smash on this lineup. Jordan Addison is a low, 5,700. Jacoby Myers over there for the Las Vegas Raiders, who's had himself incredible game last week and the week before that. Jacoby Myers, only 5,800. You got Garrett Wilson in this lineup at 6,000. TJ Hawkinson in this lineup at 6,600. And then you got the Eagles at 3,800. And finally, our flex, we took a shot. We took a crazy one. Terrence Marshall Jr. from Carolina Panthers. All we need is one big play. He had 9 catches for 56 yards last week. The week before that, 5 for 35. He's getting opportunities. I like this lineup a lot. Go check it out. It literally hits zeros. Whatever lineup you have as far as how much money you have to make a lineup, I hit zeros. I got exactly the best bang for my buck at its absolute maximum capacity. Now, prop bets, underdog fantasy, prize picks, all that stuff. Give me Garrett Wilson, higher than 57.5 receiving yards. I love Curtis Samuel. Only 31.5 receiving yards for the Washington Commanders against Atlanta. Guess what? The past 3 weeks, 65 yards, 51 yards, 54 yards, 31.5 is nothing. And then one that you guys are sleeping on, truly, KJ Osborne for the Minnesota Vikings. He's always been the wide receiver 2 to 3, especially behind Justin Jefferson. They drafted Addison. Addison's now the one. KJ Osborne will get looks, will get opportunities. Had 49 last week. I expect him to have over 40.5 this week. And then you got Cole Kmet. I told you, TJ Hawkinson, Cole Kmet are going to dominate for the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. Cole Kmet only at 34.5 receiving yards. Last week, 42 yards. The week before that, 85 yards. I love Cole Kmet at 34.5. My last few ones that I like, and they're all disgusting. So if you want to take a chance, take a chance. If you don't worry about it. But DJ Chark over at Carolina, 33.5 receiving yards. I like these low lines because they can get knocked out with one catch. You take one long ball. DJ Chark, 33.5 yards. Last week, he had 42 yards. The week before that, 28. But the week before that, 86 yards. This line is right there, perfectly in the middle, where he can get this line pretty easily. Jonnu Smith, gross, disgusting. Go throw up, come back to the show. Welcome back. Jonnu Smith is somewhat dominant for the Falcons. He's had 6 receptions his past 2 games, 5 before that. Every single game, check this out, 67 yards last week, 95 yards last week, the week before that, 37 yards the week before that. His line is only at 3 receptions. He's averaging 5.5 receptions. I like Jonnu Smith. And then finally, again, disgusting, super nasty, Noah Fant for the Seattle Seahawks. His line is at 21.5 yards. Last week, 63 yards. Week before that, 41. Week before that, 56. Give me those. Put them in my veins. I love them. Take them, take them, take them. So we only have a few more minutes in the show. Jeff, I think of Jeff Garcia. I just looked at the Money Matcha. But Joe Garcia, our producer here in charge, it's time to get into it, baby. It's time to get into our can't miss, locked in, for sure, parlay of the week. Joe, there's been a struggle. There's been a struggle for you, buddy. You knocked it out of the park week 1. A ridiculous.
It's because I'm a gambler, bro.
A ridiculous one. I win 2 weeks in a row, and then both of us last week, our first leg just got blown out of the water. I don't even know if we might have hit, like, out of the 6 picks we had, we might have hit 2. Like, everybody just got killed. So we struggled last week, but out of 5 weeks, you and I have won money together as a show. If you take in one of these bets, we've won 3 out of the 5 weeks, right? We've done very well. And the one that we've won, the bets that we've won, you've made some serious cash on.
Yeah, some good money.
Here's an opportunity to make some more serious cash. Joe Garcia, let me hear the can't miss, locked in for sure, parlay of the week that you got.
I got the Saints over the Texans.
Money line?
Money line.
Okay.
Vikings over the Bears. They're all money line.
Oh, all money. Okay, so now we're interesting. Now we're just taking straight wins. I like this.
Yeah. Vikings over the Bears, and I got the Lions over the Bucks. That's my parlay for this week.
Okay.
But I'm going with your Vikings, bro, so I'm a little nervous with that one.
I would be as well.
I'm a little shaky, bro.
I understand it. I understand it. So you got Detroit money line, New Orleans Saints money line, Vikings money line.
Money line.
Very solid. $25. Everybody, $25 will win you back $89. I'm sorry, the line just changed. Line just changed in favor of you. Saints just went down as far as the money line, so that looks good. 25 now wins you $93.
Okay.
Right? And basically total with your money back, you're winning almost $120. Very nice. Very, very calm. I like that. That's a good bet. Mine is going to be, I like the Detroit Lions pick, by the way. Give me Detroit Lions money line. Las Vegas Raiders. Los Pinches Raiders. -3 over New England. And then give me the Philadelphia Eagles -6.5 to win by a touchdown over the New York Jets. That bet, $25, wins you total when you get your money back from that bet too, because you get your $25 back. 25 to win $148.
That's some good money.
$100 on that bet wins you a grand total of $593.
Oof.
Right? $100 on Joe's bet, which is Detroit money line, New Orleans Saints money line, and the Minnesota Vikings. That wins you $475. If you got some money to play and you want to take some bets, I love both of these bets. I think both of them make a ton of sense and have great payouts. So I want to ride with both of these, actually. I think both of these have some massive, massive value. Those are going to be our can't miss locked in parlays of the week. Joe, do these hit? Do these hit?
They have to, man. The fantasy gods have to smile upon us this week.
They're
man.
looking down. They're looking down at us and they're saying, you know what, guys, we've put you through the ringer, right? We wanted to see how tough are you? Can you come back from these losses?
They have to deliver for Vikings fans this week, bro.
Listen, the fantasy gods,
it's been, bro. It's been bad.
Listen, the fantasy gods are the same ones who give and take away, right?
Exactly, man.
This is the time to give. I like them, dude. I like the bets. We both have the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
What does that mean? That means that is the game to watch.
It's the game of the week.
It's the game of the week for the fantasy gods, because if that game goes sideways, this entire bets, all of our opportunities go sideways.
I might have to buy another TV, dude. I might break that one.
Lots of fun. So real quick, Joe, let's go over the rest of the game, or looking at the games. What are kind of your games of the day to look for fantasy football, for opportunities for people to win some games? What are kind of your looks of the week that you're excited for? What games?
I'll tell you this so far, man. Just stay clear of the Cowboys game, dude. That's garbage, basura. But the ones that are really interesting and intriguing to me, we talked about it too. Carolina, and the Dolphins.
Yeah.
That one, I mean, if you pick the Dolphins, you could go ahead and get some serious fantasy points there if you go ahead and start the right people.
Right.
And the other one that's interesting to me too is, again, your Vikings in the Bears matchup.
Yeah.
If you play your cards right, you can pick up some good points there.
Yeah, no, you can. You can.
You can.
You definitely can. And there's a lot of opportunity for points there.
And the other one too that's interesting to me, I gotta say, is the Colts and Jags. Because if you play your cards right again for fantasy, you could pick up some serious numbers right there.
I think the biggest game for fantasy, I think for me, is going to be Seattle, Cincinnati. I think there's a huge opportunity for fantasy points. You don't get fantasy points for defenses unless you have the defenses, but offensively, this is going to be a shootout. And the other one that I do like, just because I think it could become a shootout.
You're gonna say Giants Bills?
No chance. No chance. I like Commanders Falcons, and I like Saints Texans.
That Commanders Falcons is gonna be, to me, that's the garbage game of the day.
That's the garbage game of the day because it's gonna be way too close.
Yeah.
That line is -1.5 for the Falcons. I think the Commanders probably could win this game. I think either one of them could win this game, but you're right. It's the basura game of the week.
Yeah, even the over-under's nasty, dude. You look
41.5. Oh my God. I don't even know if they hit 40.
Not at all.
Good God. Well, we appreciate you tuning in. We love having you guys. This is every Sunday. We got you guys here on the Fantasy Gods from 10:30 to just about 11:30. We're going to be getting going. We have not only Fantasy Gods Extra Point coming up Tuesday and Thursday, we're also talking in the talks. Alamo City Sports Network might be expanding more. We might be adding some more opportunities for shows. Some shows that maybe aren't just sports related, but also comedic, also pop culture, adding more value, adding more just great content for you, the listener. But I think from Joe and I, we want to thank you for riding with us on this journey and continuing to support the show, support the system, support the network as a whole. Go check out the Alamo City Sportscast. That's going to be, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Actually, I had to change because now they changed my hours of work. I go to work at noon.
Oh, wow.
So now I got to start early. I got to start at 10:30, and the show goes from about 10:30, 11:30. Sometimes I go over about 15 minutes, 11:45, depending on we're having a good discussion. Sometimes we get into it too with the fans that are watching us in the chat, or watching us on YouTube, because we start getting into it with them on the chat. So it goes off the rails sometimes, and it's fun, man.
It goes off the rails, and that's all we love to hear. We love to see it. We love to be a part of it. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the Fantasy Gods. We will see you on Tuesday, talking about Monday Night Football, and Thursday, giving you all the updates for Thursday Night Football and the weekend coming up. We appreciate you. Be safe. Have a wonderful Sunday. Get your barbacoa and Big Red. Get yourself some drinks. Get yourself some family and friends, and have yourself a wonderful Sunday. Go Rangers. Fuck the Astros. We'll see you later.
Puro Rangers a la verga, dude.